The next mineral which we are going to discuss is iron, and it is a trace mineral. Iron is most important of all the trace and minerals. The iron, Heme, is an important part of hemoglobin in the blood, because of which the color of the blood is red. Hemoglobin combines with oxygen in the lungs to form oxyhemoglobin, and then it is carried to all parts of the body tissues through blood circulation. Now, about 70% of iron is present in the hemoglobin, and the remaining is deposited in the liver, spleen, kidney, and bone marrow, and it is also found in the enzymes of the cells, and also some percentage in the muscle tissues in the form of myoglobin. The functions of iron. Now we'll look at the functions of iron. The main function of iron is to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide to and fro. To transport oxygen and carbon dioxide in the blood. It receives oxygen from the lungs and carries it to the tissues of the body in the form of oxyhemoglobin, and carries back from tissues to the lungs carbon in the form of carboxyhemoglobin. It is stored in the muscles in the form of myoglobin. It is released when there is movement of the muscle. This iron is required when we make the movement of the muscles. Then the myoglobin iron is used. Another function of iron is also, because iron is also a component of enzymes, it involves in the synthesis of collagen and some neurotransmitters. Iron also helps in improving body's immune system. Cells require iron to convert energy from food into ATP. That ATP is adenosine triphosphate. This is the form of energy. Next function, iron contributes to the normal cognitive function, like brain functions like memory, concentration, logical thinking, etc. is a cognitive function, and that for that purpose iron is required by the brain. Enzymes of the cell need iron for the metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Iron also protects the body from various infections. Like vitamins, iron also protects the body from the infectious diseases. Now, if there is a deficiency of iron, what will happen? It causes low red blood cell count, or there will be immature red blood cells. If deficiency of iron is there can be deficiency of blood also due to accident or internal bleeding. Deficiency of folic acid, cobalt, and vitamin C can cause malabsorption of iron, because iron absorbed through these other nutrients. So their presence is necessary for the absorption of iron. If these cobalt, vitamin C, and folic acid are also in deficient quantities, then the iron will not get absorbed in the blood. The iron requirement increases in special conditions like in the rapid growth stage, which is there in the childhood, and again it comes in the adolescent age. Then during the pregnancy and also during the lactation period. And if there is a deficiency of iron, prolonged deficiency of iron, it will lead to a condition called anemia. Now, what are the symptoms of anemia? The person will feel loss of appetite and insomnia. Insomnia means not getting sleep, not able to sleep. There will be tiredness and weakness in the body, indigestion, headache, giddiness, and other than that, stunted physical growth in children. Suppose a child, a newborn child or 1 year old child, if he doesn't get sufficient amount of iron in his food, then he will not take up the normal height and weight. Nails become brittle and spoon shaped. If iron is lacking, you can look at your nails and decide. Now we look at anemia. It is of three kinds. First is hypochromic microcytic anemia. In this case, the red blood cells are small and pale. Then hypochromic macrocytic anemia. In this case, the cells are large but again pale. This anemia is also called megaloblastic anemia. And if you remember, when we were doing folic acid, we did this also. It is because it is caused due to the deficiency of folic acid and vitamin B12 along with iron. Then another anemia is pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia. It is caused due to the malabsorption of B12. If vitamin B12 is not absorbed properly, then there will be pernicious anemia. Next, we look at the sources of iron. Now, the body does not produce or synthesizes iron in itself. So it becomes essential to have sufficient amount of iron-rich food in the diet so that it can become a source of iron for the body. Then part of iron is present in whole grains, cereals like jowar, bajra, wheat, rice. Pulses and rice flakes are also rich in iron. Now the best animal source is organ meat like liver, heart, kidney. Egg yolk is also a good source. Vegetable sources: dark green leafy vegetables, nol, amaranth, reddish leaves, onion stalks and mint. All these are good source of iron. Raisins, jaggery, gingerly seeds, mustard seeds, potatoes are also good source of iron. Now again the spices, all these spices do have iron, but it is in such a, because we use all these spices in such a small amount that they hardly give any amount of iron to their contribution is very little, or you can say insignificant to the body. Then leafy green vegetables are concerned, the intake of iron. As far as leafy vegetables are concerned, the intake of iron becomes much less because they are bound with oxalates, and some vegetables are in combination with phytic acid that acts as a inhibitor in the absorption of iron. So, especially when we take spinach, the iron of spinach is not absorbed by the body because it contains oxalate or oxalic acid. It turns into oxalic acid, and which acts as an inhibitor. In this slide, you can see the recommended dietary allowances of iron according to the age they are given. For infants, it is 0.27 mg to 1.1 mg. 1 to 8 years, it is 7 mg to 10 mg. 4 to 18, it increases for males and females. It is more for females. Then during pregnancy, the requirement goes very high. During lactation also, there is requirement of iron. The next important mineral is iodine. It is also a trace element, but it is very important, especially for the energy metabolism. The iodine gets converted into thyroxine hormone in the epithelial cells of thyroid glands, and about 25 to 30 milligrams of iodine is present in the thyroid glands. That is the maximum amount present there, and very little amount is present elsewhere in the body. Now we'll look at the functions. The main function is iodine helps in the formation of thyroxine hormone, which is secreted by thyroid glands. Now thyroxine helps in the energy metabolism in two ways. Hypersecretion of thyroxine increases the metabolic rate, causing the body of the individual to become thin and lean. Hyposecretion of thyroxine decreases the metabolic rate, leading to obesity. Hyposecretion also increases the cholesterol level. Next, iodine also controls the function of the nerves, and low thyroxine level reduces the mental ability and physical growth. So, iodine is very necessary for mental abilities. So, the amount recommended by RDA should be definitely included in the diet. Iodine deficiency causes infertility. Effects of deficiency of iodine. If iodine is deficient in our body, what can happen? The minor symptoms are there, that they are different, but if there is a prolonged iodine deficiency, there's one major disease called goiter. Now it is caused due to the iodine deficiency, which causes less secretion of thyroxine. And now to increase that secretion, the thyroid glands work more and more. And because of their working more, what happens? The thyroids enlarge. And the enlarged glands at the neck cause pressure on the trachea, causing difficulty in breathing. Another effect is cretinism. The deficiency of iodine retards the physical and mental growth of the children. So for mental and especially for mental growth, iodine is very necessary. The retardation of physical growth, if iodine is totally deficient, the child is not getting the iodine. So what will happen? He will grow into a dwarf. I hope you know what is dwarfism. Dwarf, or the people who remain very short-heighted. They are called, in Hindi, they are called Bona. Next, if the deficiency of iodine prolongs, it can cause dry, rough, thick and wrinkled skin. Pot belly, the stomach will come forward and will look like a pot. Thick lips, enlarged tongue. Other than that, dry, thin and stiff hair. Another deficiency, because of the iodine deficiency, you have myxedema. And this generally happens in the adults, which causes the person who's having this myxedema will have expressionless face. The person will become physically inactive and feels those chills all the time, feeling cold all the time. His hands and feet will be cold all the time. And he or she may also have swelling on hands, feet and face. The deficiency of iodine in the women may lead to abortion, and in case the abortion does not take place and the child takes birth, then the newborn baby may be mentally retarded. He may have deformed body or dwarf body. So iodine has to be taken to get rid of all these things. Now, what are the various sources of getting the iodine in our diet? The amount of iodine in food is greatly depends upon the presence of iodine in the water and the land. The water which we drink should have iodine, and the land on which the grains and other vegetables are grown should have the presence of iodine there. like sea salts are and sea fish, they are rich in iodine because the sea water is salted water. Vegetables grown near the seashore will also be rich in iodine. Onion, garlic are two good source of iodine. Other than that, what kind of salt do we get these days? You must have seen the packet of salt. It is always written there, iodized salt. So the iodine is added to that salt, and that is why the salt is fortified with iodine. Now the RDA, or the recommended allowances, are 100 to 150 micrograms of iodine is required daily. And the requirement increases in the same three conditions: the rapid growth period, pregnancy, and during the lactation period.